All right, you guys, Biden just opened up his brand new student loan repayment plan, and I want to talk about it today. I want to talk about it. You know, his new payment plan is called SAVE, standing for Saving on a Valuable Education, where I believe, honestly, maybe only about 30–40% of people actually get a valuable education. But his new plan replaces the old plan, the old repayment plan called Repay, R-E-P-A-Y-E. And his new plan, SAVE, is supposed to be better. I've actually went through all the notes here. I have several pages of what's going on. We are going to drop some important links in the show notes, so please make sure you check out those show notes. But I want to dive into it, but I want to start with this, you guys. Remember, while I'm going through this, I am not saying this is something that you need to rely on for the next 20 years. Here's what I am going to say up front. This is a good program to go ahead and get started and get yourself registered in so you can have a little bit of breathing room. But remember, I will always say that we're not looking for breathing room. We're looking to be aggressive and to get out of debt ASAP. But going ahead and sign up for this program if you qualify. We're going to go through all that here very quickly. But I teach the debt snowball method. Line up all your debt from smallest to largest, right? And make minimum payments on all of them. But then all your extra income you have coming in from your side businesses, from your side jobs, we're going to put that on top of the very first thing, very first debt we're paying off aggressively. So I'm still saying let's get aggressive, but let's talk about what's happening with this new program that Biden and his administration actually just rolled out this month. A lot of the initiatives will not be available until next year. But this is really going to help borrowers who are struggling right now to make minimum payments, with interest up right now, with cost of living really at an all-time high right now. I think this was an actual decent program. It's going to help a lot of people, but it's not going to help a lot of people as well. So let's talk about it. Who's eligible for the new repayment plan called SAVE? Now, these will be individuals who actually have federal undergraduate or graduate loans. These are going to be federal, not private loans, not loans from banks. But if you have federal undergraduate and graduate loans, you qualify for this. But now watch this. Borrowers with undergraduate debt are eligible for lower payments than actual graduate borrowers. So graduate borrowers do qualify for the program, but it's not going to be as low as undergraduates. But who is excluded? This is interesting, but this is why I tell parents, hey, do not sign for loans in your name so your kid can go to school. You need to make sure that you are good, because parents are excluded. So if you're a parent and you took out a Parent Plus loan, unfortunately, you are excluded from this program called SAVE. Sorry, but not sorry. This is why I, again, teach what I teach. But let's break it down. How does the SAVE program actually work? Well, here's the truth. All income-driven repayment plans generally work the exact same. Payments are based on your earnings and household, right? So if you make $50,000 a year, that's your earnings gross. If you have 4 people living in your home that you are responsible for, that's your household. But if you're single and it's just you and a roommate, your household is just you, right? So if you're a husband and wife, if you are a single mom of 2, then that means you have a household of 3. And all this does play an impactful role when it comes to this new program called SAVE, right? But here's the thing too, I want to tell everyone up front, this is going to be adjusted each and every single year. So you may qualify for something in the $50,000 price range, but if you go up to $80,000 next year, you're going to be readjusted within this program called SAVE. So after monthly payments are made for a set number of years, usually about 20 years, the remaining balance are forgiven, all right? But now watch this. Let's say for an example, you have $100,000 in student loans. Let's say throughout those 20 years, you paid $50,000 of those student loans. So what they're saying is after 20 years per se, if you are approved, which previously we've seen less than 5% people get approved, right, for this, forgiven balance after years. Now, but let's just say you're one of the lucky ones and you get approved. And let's say you have that $50,000 you got approved to be forgiven. Now, that $50,000 balance is taxable as income through a temporary tax rule. I mean, though a temporary tax rule exempts balances forgiven through 2025 from federal income taxes. But check this out. It's like if you have the 50,000 per this new plan, right? The remaining balance will be forgiven. Now, let's go down to really how this plan is overall genuinely trying to work, right? To start, here's it in the start. Remember, the save plan is replacing the repay plan. If you're on the repay plan, continue watching because I'm going to show you how you can go from repay to save instantly and automatically if you're already in a repay program. But to start, it will reduce payments on undergraduate loans to 5% of discretionary income, down from 10% in the old program repay, and 15% in other programs. So what does this mean? Anthony, you said discretionary income. We're going to talk about that. Pause. I'm going to say this one more time. So here's one of the very first things to call out. With this new SAVE program, you're going to reduce payments, how much you pay back on monthly payments on undergraduate, not graduate, on undergraduate loans down to 5% of your discretionary income from 10% on repay. Now, graduate debt is also eligible for this, but borrowers would pay 10% of discretionary income on that portion. So let's talk about this. What is discretionary income? Per the government, once you pay for your basic needs, food, rent, utilities, transportation, anything is left over, they're going to base your payment on your discretionary income. So after you cover your four walls that I teach, right, then they're going to look at what do you have left. So let's say, for an example, you make $2,000 a month. Just for an example, I'm not saying you're making $2,000 a month. I'm just giving you simple math so you can better understand what I'm saying. Let's say you make $2,000 a month and your cost of living is $1,500, right? So that means you have discretionary income of $500, and they're going to base your monthly payment on that $500. That is just an example. It's just an example of the math, because if you're making $2,000 a month, this is going to be what, $24,000 a year as a single person. And based upon, watch this, based upon this new program, SAVE, if you're making $24,000 a year, you're actually on a line of poverty, and you actually qualify for zero payments. I just said it. SAVE increases the amount of income protected from repayment to 225% of the federal poverty guidelines, roughly equivalent to $15 an hour for a single borrower. So what does this mean? Watch this. Remember, I just used an example of 2,000. 2 times 12 is $24,000. If you are making less than $32,805 a year, you will make zero monthly payments until you cross over the threshold of the 225%, which is right around $32,805. Anthony, what do you mean 225% of the poverty guidelines? Well, for the poverty guidelines, this is the poverty guidelines. If you're making right around, I think it's what, $14,500 a year, you're on the poverty. You're really on poverty. So what this new program is saying, okay, cool, we're going to times that by 2.5. Or what, 2.25. So 14,000 times 2.25 is 32,805. If they're making less than that, that means they're really, really struggling in life. And we're going to protect them and make sure that they do not have to pay for those balances. You will not have to make any monthly payments as long as you're up underneath that. Now, let's say you have a family of 4 and you're making less than $67,500. Then you guys, you will not have to make any monthly payments again. I want to pause right there. I think this is where the system gets us trapped, because I think a lot of us will watch this and be like, man, I don't want to pay back the student loans, so I better find a way to get my income to fall below $32,000, get my income to fall below $67,000 if I got a family of 4. I see the system, I watch the system, I watch people, and y'all, they are literally trying to live under this line so they don't have to make any payments, but it's only preventing yourself from building wealth, building legacy, and having true freedom. Now you're stuck in a situation just to save yourself some money? No. I don't want you to fall in this trap. Now, if you're here, yes, take advantage of it while you're getting yourself on your feet, while you're progressing and moving forward. But I think the system is really what's holding back. Can I be real with you? Black people. Because a lot of us, like, oh, shoot, great. Well, let me only make $60,000 a year, and I got 3 other kids, and we gonna be straight. Let me kind of maneuver the system. I make $60,000 on paper, but I'm gonna make $100,000 over here in cash. Nah, man, just do it right. Do it right. Do it right. Will the way interest is treated be changed? Yes. All right. So if a borrower's monthly payment does not cover the interest owed, the education department will cancel the uncovered portion. Interesting. So watch this. In other words, if a borrower owes $50 in interest each month, but the payment covers only $30, the remaining $20 will disappear as long as the payment is made. And monthly interest will be canceled for those who are not required to make payments because their income is too low. So what is it saying? Let's say, for an example, prime example here is your payment is $30. And but your interest is whatever. Let's say you make that payment, boom, great. They're gonna disappear. They're gonna cancel that part. Let's say, for an example, you are below the poverty line. Well, your interest is canceled. The payment is still there because they're gonna make sure that, hey, once you get to the right income, you can come back and pay back the money that you borrowed. But if you take 2 years to get on your feet, which I hope, if you're watching me, it's not taking you 2 years. But let's just say, for an example, if you take 2 years to get on your feet, well, they're going to cancel those interests for those 2 years, right? But your payment is still going to be there of what you actually owe. All right. So does this plan go in effect right away? Yes. Okay. But the futures take full effect next summer. People who took out put it like this. Yes, some go into plan right now. The majority won't go into plan till like next July, right? Are there any changes for borrowers with small loan balances? Now, some of you all didn't take out much student loans. Great, hallelujah. But can you all qualify for this? Yes. But this feature takes place next summer, like I just said, next July. People who took out smaller loans or those with original balances of $12,000 or less would make monthly payments for 10 years before cancellation, instead of the more typical 20-year repayment period and other income-driven repayment plans. All right, so you will be able to qualify for it, but hey, I mean, again, I'm going to tell you all, let's just get to work. Let's get to work. But let's keep going throughout this program because I want to be honest. I want to keep everything honest here. What about borrowers who were in default before payments were paused? This is I actually do like this. I do like this because I believe in second chances. Borrowers who fell into default before the payment pause, which happens when you are at least 270 days behind, have received a fresh start and are considered current on their payments. Wow. This means that you're current. Now, here's what I do like. To qualify for this, to get a fresh start, you got to contact the education department. You got to call into your loan service provider and tell them this: I want to be inside the Fresh Start program. So you got to call your loan service provider. If you've fallen delinquent on your undergraduate and graduate loans when they come back into play, you would need to call them and say, hey, I want to be in the Fresh Start program. The group will transfer your loans to a regular loan servicer and wipe the record, watch this, of your default on your credit reports. I like that. I don't really subscribe to the whole credit report, but listen, if before COVID, if you was in default and you had issues going on, you will be able to get a brand new fresh start within this program. They will go back and update your credit report to show that you're current on your loan, and then now you get a fresh start. Their new servicer will then put them into the IDR plan, which is the income-driven repayment plan, with the lowest monthly payment they are eligible for. Right? Let's go back to this. Another one too. Can delinquent borrowers enroll? Going forward, borrowers who go 75 days without a payment will be automatically enrolled into the SAVE plan, as long as they provide approval to disclose their federal tax information to the Education Department. I think that's simple. So I see the government trying to help, but again, and I'm gonna pause right here and say this too. If you're really gonna try to help the government, if anyone watching in the White House, watching in the government, here's the best thing we got to do is stop the student loan program, period. We need to put a cap on how much money we can borrow. We need to go to these colleges and say, why are you charging $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 for a degree, and you're not even helping your students get an actual job? We got to really fix the program from the front end, not just the back end, okay? So what happens if you, how do you sign up? It's simple. We're going to put all the information in the show notes. You go to studentaid.gov to save. Borrowers will be able to see their payment amounts before you even sign up. You want to sign up now so you can get ahead of the game. So that way, hopefully, if you are in the program, you can get this started before you even start making payments. But we're going to put all that in today's information. And here's the thing. If you're already in the repay program, they're going to automatically just change you over to the save program. And I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to love it. Here's what you're going to love even more. Paying them off. I'm going to say it. That's how I'm going to leave. That's how I'm going to leave this quick clip and this quick reaction. And we're going to drop the studentaid.gov sign up below. I'm even going to drop their calculator because I went on there and I played around with their calculator a little bit. And you guys, I was actually impressed. You're not saving that much interest by going off and waiting until 20 years, 10 years down the road to possibly get them declined. Studies have shown that a lot of people who applied to get the, after they made 20 years worth of payments, after they applied to get the rest of it canceled, less than 5% have been canceled. A lot of you all got excited about this $20,000 possibly being canceled this year, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. Supreme Court knocked that down. What am I saying? Sign up for the program if you qualify, but still be aggressive about paying it. I'm going to link in today's show notes my free 40-page ebook on how to attack your debt and how to get it paid off quicker. Because even on the studentaid.gov website, they give you a game plan on how to get out of your student loan debt quicker. And you honestly save money with that calculator. You can compare the SAVE program with the Pay It Off Quick program. You actually save interest. You save money by paying it off early rather than going these 10, 20 years and paying it off thinking you're about to get saved, thinking you're about to save money. No, you're just prolonging your time, but it's costing you more money. So listen, we're going to drop all the information in the show notes. Please get the free ebook on how you can attack your debt. I promise you it will bless you. Yo, I love you all. I just want to come here and talk about a new SAVE program. But still, even within inside the SAVE program, I'm still not focusing on the White House. I appreciate the government trying to do something, but this really only helps the people who are really struggling financially. The average everyday person is going to maybe save about $1,000 on this whole program. But I want to encourage you all. Still attack your debt. All right? It's your boy, Anthony O'Neill. I see you. I'll see you again soon. Peace out.